Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I had technical problems earlier and my audio was all messed up. So I realized I need to go back online. So, hello, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you so much for listening in. And what I want to do is continue to talk about the wonder years. And I'd love for you guys to share your testimonies. And one of the things before we leave the childhood years is what I wanted to remind everyone about was our Saturday mornings. Remember when we were kids? When we were kids, we used to be able to get up no matter how early it was, jump right out of the bed on a Saturday morning to watch those Saturday morning cartoons. But during the week, when it's time to go to school, we had an issue getting up. Mom and Dad had an issue trying to get us up, right? But some of the fun things that I loved, some of the my favorite cartoons was the Jetsons, the Smurfs. I used to love Schoolhouse Rock. And even after school during the week, the after school specials that used to be on, right? What were some of the your favorite cartoons that you used to watch as a child? I used to love Bugs Bunny. When you watch Bugs Bunny today and you realize how violent it is today, I never realized it back then, but that was a pretty violent show. But that was one of my favorite shows. Okay, so I want you guys to put in the chat what your favorite childhood uh cartoon was. Remember, we had the Flintstones, which had the Stone Age years, and then we also had the Jetsons, which now has had the futuristic shows or what was going to come in the future. And today we're now living in the Jetson years, or everything that had come to pass on what they were putting out on that show. And then they also had, the toy commercials and the cereals. So, we would get all excited. Oh, mom, I need to get that cereal, Captain Crunch, sugar corn pops or corn pups, whatever it is, or Lucky Charms. That's when the parents knew, okay, I'm gonna have to go out to the store and get some whatever they done put on the television this time. And I remember even as I think I must have been a toddler or 5 or 6, one of my favorite toys, two favorite toys I had as a kid was the Fisher Price Little People. I remember having those in the bathtub with me and having like making a whole storyline for them with the ships and the little houses with the little people. And how about the Weeble Wobbles? Do you guys remember the Weeble Wobbles and how they don't fall down? That was another one of my favorite as I was a kid. But as I started to get a little older, started to play with dolls, my favorite ever of all times, and my brother will tell you this, is my Barbie dolls. I used to love Barbie dolls like crazy. And I remember one Christmas, I really wanted the Barbie dream house. And I remember my dad drove all the way from Baltimore, delivered the Barbie dream house, put it up, I guess while I was sleeping in the middle of the night, and I woke up and saw it there. So that was like the best gift ever to me was my Barbie dream house, where it had the elevator. Well, first they started with the townhouse, and then you could upgrade and get the Barbie dream house. And that was living. When you had a Barbie dream house, it was the best, right? So I want you guys to share with me what was your favorite childhood toy. Go ahead and put that in the chat so we could talk about it at the end of this video, even during the comments. All right. Even if you're watching a replay, go ahead and let us know what your favorite toy was as a child. Um, another fun thing I used to love to do is having sleepovers, whether it was with my friends in the Bronx or if it was with my cousins and their friends in Baltimore. And what was interesting is that as we're reconnected with friends and family we haven't talked to with a long time, right? Well, one of my friends inboxed me yesterday and reminded me of the fun that we had at the sleepover, staying up late, playing tricks on each other, not even knowing what time we went to bed. We would just fall out. Okay. So sleepovers were amazing. I don't know if a lot of people still do sleepovers nowadays, unless it's like at a family member's house. I know my kids, they haven't really slept over at friend's house, but they stayed over at cousins or other family members. What about you guys? Do you guys allow that? I don't know. Let me know. And at the end of the summers, remember I spent my summers in Maryland and or Virginia, but when I used to go down and visit my dad in Baltimore, at the end of the summer, I had the privilege of going on a shopping spree with my grandma Blue. Now, let me tell you the story, and I have to remember to send this video to my dad because I hope he knows I do remember this, and I appreciated my grandmother for this. That she used to work at Hustlers, which was a huge department store in Maryland. It's like Macy's, is today, right? And she used to be what they called the Hustlers girls, where she was like the personal shopper, or she used to whatever they do in this, the personal shopper or work in a register, they used to call them hustler girls if they worked at the hustlers. And so because I was her grandchild, she wanted to make sure that I went back to the Bronx with the finest clothes. So at the end of the summer, she would take me on a shopping spree on her employee discount as a retiree. So we would go back and she would show me off to her ex co-workers and say, I want to pick up some stuff for my granddaughter because she lives in the Bronx and things like that. And I remember my grandmother used to think, yeah, you can't go outside and play in here because it's dangerous. And I was like, Grandma, I live in the South Bronx. It's not that dangerous, okay? So but she didn't understand the difference of being in the South Bronx versus being in Maryland. So I'd be like, okay, Grandma, I'll stay here on the porch. I'm not going anywhere. But I used to enjoy taking the new clothes back. Even though I did go to Catholic school, the first couple of days they allowed you to wear regular clothes. So people would show off their finest things the first couple of days at school. And I just remember that was a big deal to be able to go on those shopping sprees. Not only for me was a big deal, but I know it made my grandma Blue feel great too that she was doing that for me. Um, Now, the last memory I'm going to share with you guys is when I used to get my hair done. As a little black girl, you're not born all the time with really soft, silky hair. It's curly, it's Afro puff. At least mine was when it was dry. And so my mom would wash my hair. She would lay me across the sink in the kitchen. So as you're getting taller, your legs have to be up, right, on the sink and stuff, and she would wash it, get it clean, and then I'd have to, you know what had to happen after that, right? After the blow drying, then it would be time for the straightening comb. I used to hate getting my hair straightened, where I would be in the chair like this, like, please, mom, don't burn me. Please don't burn me, right? Because that thing would be so close to our scalp. I used to hate having to go through that. And there would be some days where my sister would cornrow my hair instead, so I wouldn't have to use the straightening comb. I used to love getting those braids in with the beads. And even one of my school pictures, I even had cornrows in one of my school pictures. I think I was in third grade when that happened. But if you can relate to getting your hair hot comb in the kitchen, go ahead and put that in the chat so that way we could talk about that as well. How it was like a terrifying or a fearful experience because you were afraid that your mom or someone was going to burn your hair, right? So that's really all I wanted to share with everybody today. I know today is pretty short and sweet. And I think tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll actually go into the teenage years. But I want you guys to continue to share, continue to talk, because it's actually helping me to bring back great memories as well. So I'd love to communicate with everyone. Put your comments in the chat. I'll definitely respond to them. And I want to thank you all if you're watching or listening live. And even if you're watching on the replay, put replay so we know that you watched it as well. Until tomorrow, have a great day and happy Monday.